There we go.
If I
Hey,
the thing that you just
you're
said
live.
that basically debunks all the idiots like Pee Wee
Hey,
Harmon like thousands of
Yeah.
years ago that proved
yeah,
the
let's
globe, and
get
I
it.
just debunked it. So
Yeah,
now that I just debunked it, right? Are you gonna like take that out of
forget about
your mental Rolodex
Forget about it.
and then say, okay, well, I can't use that anymore? Or
We're just
are
gonna
you
watch
just still
Lad for a
going
few
to,
more
much
minutes,
like
then
a
I'll start.
fundamentalist religious zealot, just keep holding on to that belief
I'm
system,
definitely one of
Yeah.
those.
That's enthusiastic,
even
isn't it,
though
man?
I just
Yeah.
debunked it.
Hey, you see, there we go.
There we go.
There we go. At least you admit it. At least you admit it. I am one of those. I am the zealot. I'm one of those
I had
religious
YouTube on.
zealots. Yes,
God
I'm
damn
just
it.
going to continue to follow the lie. And
I'm
hey,
just gonna
if
tell you the
that's you,
fucking truth, and if you don't like it, you can kiss off.
fine. That's
Okay,
it.
there you go.
Fine. Admit that. If
I'm
that's
not gonna
you,
give you a
admit
kiss off
that. That's
attitude.
okay.
I don't care.
That's okay. And then I don't have to tell you shit
If you're
no
not
more.
smart enough to get
You
it, you
get
won't
what the
get it.
deal
Oh
is.
yeah, I mean, if
You know what it is I've just demonstrated to you. You know what I just showed
Just go-
you.
go-
I waste my time.
Beats your
Are you tired,
beats
sir?
what
Yes,
it is you've
tired.
been taught
thought so.
and shows you that what you've
I'm
been
not
taught is
well,
bullshit.
last couple days,
But you want to continue to live that lie. You want to continue to live
I
in the
misspelled
matrix.
Matthew's
Fine.
name.
You
God
want
damn
to
it.
walk away.
pretty cool, but
You
either
know
way,
what the truth is now. And you've made a decision. I have nothing else to tell you.
nose is runny and shit. Weird.
So this
Where's it
dude
running to?
is
I-
probably still gonna. I don't know I-Fi, right?
Oh, wait,
I'm
oh, I-
starting to learn about Z. I like the dude. I like the shit that the fire that he brings, and I like how he does it, right? But that I-Fi dude is probably gonna go around talk about idiot flat earthers and this and that.
Idiot flat earthers. Nah,
I hope
there's
he
no such
doesn't
thing.
because there Z just demonstrated to him how much he didn't know and
Let's
how much
see
he
how much
he
longer
should,
he's going to go.
go
I
out.
don't think
do
he's
his
got
due
a schedule, does
diligence
he?
and look
Not
and
me.
try to
Right.
figure some things out.
Yeah.
Or ask questions
As long
and
as he's
learn.
got something to talk about and
I
something to
mean,
say.
we don't know everything.
Yep.
We don't know everything. We know what we don't. We know what we know. We don't know what we don't know, and then we don't know what we think we know, but we truly don't know. Y'all follow?
I do.
Okay, we're not too positive, but at least one thing we know, like I've said time and time again, this bitch ain't curving. Ain't curving.
There he goes again.
Raj led well, family. You have a good one, family. You have a good one, and
He's gonna
probably
end.
see you here tonight, man, on your show. You
Okay.
have a good one, Roger Ledwell.
I'm going to invite him in.
Who else is getting up out of here? Alan,
Yeah,
have
I
a good
want you to take you with us.
logical observations. Have a good night, family.
I'm just kidding.
Bumped him good. Hold on. If he'll come on. He froze again.
Oh,
The
that?
motherfucker freezes a lot, dude.
Just know that. What is that?
Maria Walker related to Herschel. Maria Walker, you related to Herschel Walker?
Herschel Walker? I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Maria Walker related to
Yeah.
Herschel. Look at that.
Let's give him a minute. Maybe he'll
By
stop.
Johnny Walker. She's probably related to
Hey,
Johnny Walker.
Alan North. you have a
Yep,
good
why
one,
not?
brother.
Yeah,
Okay, Maria Walker's not
Glass
related
might
to
stop by
Herschel.
too. Yeah,
Okay.
he has been.
She's not related to Herschel Walker. Okay, my bad, my bad. All right, let me stop bullshitting. Let me get back to the production with Z.
I don't
He's
think
still-
that's what debunk means.
He's
but
still
that's
gonna
fine.
play this. We're gonna stop it.
Uh-oh.
Oh, good gravy. I've been through all that before.
I
Oh,
farted.
no. Oh, that's sweet.
I know, I'm human.
Human fart.
Yeah.
I think everybody farts. You agree, guys? Does everybody fart? Anybody in the room ever farted?
Don't fart with me.
Okay.
I know.
I've heard that. I've heard that from my girls when they were growing up. I don't fart. What are you talking
So
about? Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Fucking room out. Chinese chicken salad. Holy shit. Fucking room.
Okay.
I don't know whether it's a sesame oil or what it is, but it does not agree.
That's beautiful. That's why you're feeling so bad, dude. All right, I want to play some music
love
for these
something
fine folks. Yeah.
I was in the bathroom earlier. I was like, Jesus Christ, can you walk in there? My eyes started burning.
That's beautiful, dude.
I know.
Let's see. What should we do? I'm going to go to my YouTube. My music, where's it at? Where is my music at? How come I stop pulling that up? How come I can't share that tab? It's not letting me.
I don't know. Maybe forbidding you. You've been a bad boy.
No. It's like it's got every open tab I got except the YouTube Music tab.
Maybe you got too many open. You close a couple of times.
No, dude, I could close all these all day long. If I closed all these, then we'd be out of the room. But the
I meant like
It-
getting extra.
it-
shit you have instead of
no, I can display up to 30 different tabs. That's what it gives me.
Really?
Mhm.
Pretty.
Yeah, I think so.
Check for that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
How did you
But a lot of computers can handle that. It depends on your hard drive, how fast it works.
I thought it was the RAM.
The RAM, the memory. Do you understand what random access memory?
That's
It has nothing to
write,
do.
write and spit it out and then delete it and use it anytime it needs to in order to make everything seamless. So that you don't have to
Okay,
wait.
I'm gonna hit the play button on this song and see if can you hear it. Could you hear anything? Me neither. I could hear it over
What song is it?
here. Share this thing. So I might have to go back into YouTube Music. Yeah.
Maybe that's why.
I'm gonna go to my history. Go to the last thing I played. I'm just gonna look it up here. Mastodon. I'm gonna go to their site. Just play it up of there like I have been. Oh, there it is. I'll just go off the list.
Someday you're gonna bring a song on here that I actually like, and I'm gonna sing along with it.
Do you want to sing along song? Is that what you said?
I like. God darn it. You is, man.
Get with the program, bitch.
I'm
I
trying.
want a song I can sing along with.
If you play them long enough, I'll start liking them. But
Yeah, I play people that actually can play music. They're not like untalented musicians by any square of the. I'm gonna do the Walsh again.
But,
I
you know,
like this song.
I'm not into every kind of music. So
I know.
some music I think sounds like shit. But it doesn't mean you can't
If you can't step stone music, get out the kitchen.
like it. Like,
It's just music, man. People play it.
it's just music.
You ever seen the Black Bart episode
But what?
of The Simpsons? The Simpsons. They had a Black Bart episode. They had a Black Bart character, yeah. And at the end of it, him and Bart were actually bantering back and forth, and he says, "Yeah, that's made out of cotton."
The guy from the statue comes to life.
I don't know, I can't
Or
remember.
whenever he goes up to the statue and he's talking shit, and it comes to life. And he's, yeah,
He said, it's made out of cotton.
only grown up with a gun.
I don't know. We should look that up, but I think we'll get a strike for it if we play any Simpsons shit. Meg,
Well, no, you can play like 10 seconds of it. But you can't go anywhere
Okay, not gonna do it. Not gonna bitch it.
because then
10 seconds.
they're trying to make money off their shit.
And whatever you want to call that.
They throw
I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna play this little intro song for these people right quick. Ready?
I want to know why.
Oh, I don't know. You tell me.
Are they really? Are they really having that much trouble making? I'd say.
Not you. Nice guitar breakdown now. Fast. Waited so long. That's a beautiful song. What do you think? Are you still there, sir? I can't tell.
Yeah, I
There's
like
two
I
of
like
you.
that one. That's pretty good.
I know. I'm picky sometimes. I can be. I always want to take a look at Flatlanders. What do you think? And take a look at them. They did
What's that mean?
well, it's a documentary that Bob Nodell and Sharon put together after they did their hit piece Behind the Curve. That's like a rebuttal to it. And this is the group. Yeah. Well, the hit piece that they did, it was basically they tried to make Flat Earth look really bad because the equipment failed, and they took instead of showing the whole observations and throughout the whole thing, they took just clips of it where they fucked up, so made them look bad. So they did their first episode. I think.
You mean to tell me they actually believed that this place or whoever that was going to actually do it right?
Mhm.
Oh, that's funny.
And Nathan told them before we got started. I was sitting there listening to the conversation with him and Jaron.
They're going to fucking burn you.
They're gonna burn you, dude. It's a corporation. They're working for the institutions. They don't want you to succeed. They're gonna make you look bad, and they did. They pieced together a hit piece, and they made it Behind the Curve. So they have 4 episodes here. I've picked
Which
up.
is fucking trash, but you know.
Yeah, no. See, the average folk don't know this stuff, so they didn't look into the topic. I thought I would look at
because
it.
numbnuts never do their homework. They always just talk shit before they know. That's why we call them numbnuts.
And then they're talking about this.
Mm.
And believe it or not, I'm on Rockfan right now. I'm gonna stop sharing that. I'm gonna share this.
Oh, you're special.
I have 2 full episodes from them. I think I'll look at the first one, episode 2. You're allowed, sir. You're trying to kill our audience's eardrums if they're wearing headphones.
I'm not on my microphone anymore. I'm on my headset, so turn me down a little bit.
I will.
Okay.
She's allowed. Okay, you're down. So I'm going to share Flatlanders. I'm going to do their first episode or the second one. I don't see them in succession on Rockfan. No, it's kind of weird.
Are you petting my kitty cat?
No, why? Don't let me.
And this is the people that did the observation I looked at last night.
Yeah, do your finger.
Really? You try to
Can
pet
you
it?
guys see that?
earlier, Ryan. She doesn't like me.
What do you mean she doesn't like you?
Oh my god.
She should like you.
No.
Maybe because she knows you don't want to pet her.
Kill the cat, dude. Kill the
What
cat.
it is. She knows.
Put your fucking butt in my face.
That's because she's mad at you because you won't pet her.
I gotta hide that message. We're good.
Oh, she doesn't like it.
Ooh, wow.
Over the bed. Stupid kitty cat.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and play episode 2 because it looks like that's the succession the way it goes. Who's talking? Ryan?
Me. I'm talking.
No. There's some we can hear whoever's in the room or whatever you're listening to is plain as day. There you go. All right, I'm gonna play this Flatlanders. These are the people that did the observation I looked at last night. I guess it's the same group that did
Previously on
Jerseys.
Flatlanders.
I feel like the sunlight's very dim.
It does feel that way, Sydney. I agree.
That's 10 miles away, folks. Boom. There it is.
We just got 24 miles.
Oh, get a
Yeah.
copy. Can you get a screenshot of that?
So we're going to be taking, what we're doing is we're going to be taking the lasers and we're going to shut them down the tracks and see if they can see them at the other end.
We got it. You guys hear us?
Yep, got it.
I see it.
There it is. Those hand warmers actually worked. That was an incredible idea. That was a good idea.
Yeah, exciting location, Malibu, California. And we're watching mountains in the distance.
I recognize that guy.
Infrared. This is a converted infrared camera.
That either tells us their calculation of a 25.
Yeah. What's his name? God, he did the moon. He fly around in airplanes all over the country. That you. What's his name? Do you remember? I used to subscribe to his channel, and then he went and started talking about the moon having vegetation on it. He could pull out a green lens and or a blue lens, and he could see the vegetation growing on the moon from here. And he went off on a tangent. He was like, okay, can't remember his name though. I'll remember it before we're done.
1,000-mile circumference of the globe is inaccurate.
Yeah,
or
about
it's
a
just
long
false.
shot.
And basically science just says there's refraction. That's the only answer. Oh, there's refraction. That's what we're seeing it halfway around the world.
This looks pretty well made. I might drop the volume a little bit. It's a little loud on my end.
Really fake it.
They're making it. The helicopter.
When I was in the Army, I was privileged to become a helicopter pilot, actually enlisted Aero Scout Observer at the time. And there's a device on the helicopter called the attitude indicator. And that has a gyro inside of it. And its job is to show you what the attitude of the aircraft is. And one of the things you have to do in pre-flight is spin up the attitude indicator. The gyro spins up during your pre-flight. You're supposed to pull this little plunger, and it's called caging the attitude indicator. And what that means when you pull that is it essentially cages the airframe around the gyro, and it says this is level. So, presumably you're on a level flight line when you're doing so, and it's telling the device that's what level is. So that becomes very problematic when it becomes an issue of the shape of the Earth.
Shout out to
and
Rob
it was,
Skiba.
oddly enough,
We'll miss you.
one of the things that eventually convinced me something's wrong here.
It's funny how they're both passed.
Yep. Bob and Rob.
Yep.
Let's not get any gyros and start doing stupid shit with them. Now Mark Sargent and Matt Long are still here. And Owen Benjamin too. Nathan Thompson. There, your boy's in there. I'll go back.
What?
Nathan Thompson. Dude.
Oh, he's not my boy.
You know him, though.
He's
You
awesome
talked to him.
boy.
I haven't.
Not very well.
Jay Tolan. That's who the guy is. That's Jay Tolan Media. I knew his voice.
Where is this about?
I know, I think a third of the people that are in here. I talked to about half of them. I don't know those people.
What?
I know, I feel special about them. If their names in film, they're immortalized forever.
Sure they are.
That's not what the sky looks like on the ground. I can testify to that. Get a telescope.
So my question is then, at what point did Jaren sell out?
I don't know. It's a good question. They got money to do this, dude. And I'm pretty sure after Netflix, I'm pretty sure this has a lot to do with the biblical cosmologist because that's even their logo as the Flat Smack Films. So this is Hebrew cosmology. They have money. Trying to remember the name of the group that's doing it. Flats has gotten in touch with them a couple of times, I'm pretty sure. Can't remember the name of the website they have. I'll look it up later. But yeah, they're Hebrew cosmology. Yeah, you could say so. I haven't seen anything shady come out of their camp at all. And I think Sean, Kingdom in Context, he uses their site too for reference. When he has a question about cosmology or the Earth, he goes to their website.
Gotcha.
These people are splintered off from, I think, Answer in Genesis because they're completely into creationism. So Answer in Genesis rides the fence between cosmologies.
Yeah, I know. I remember.
Our dear friend Danny Faulkner. Mr. Faulkner, if you're out there, I'll invite you over to the show. We can have a talk about it.
To your paradise with a little man. People Christ. Take another hit. Get it over with.
I don't think he'll come, dude.
You see. Can't stay down.
We're not big enough.
Gotta make it known. So get back up. You're not alone.
Too small of a channel.
Had a choice, they're knocking at your door. Remember, my friend, it's time and this is war.
Nice theme song.
It's time and this is war.
I hope I don't get struck with it. I don't think Jaren will do that to me.
So I'm Dr. Niang Giang. I work as a scientific officer at the National Space Research and Development Agency. I was involved with space education and outreach. That entailed teaching kids about space, space exploration, space utilization. I have always wanted to be an astronaut since many space enthusiasts would say that too. When I learned that Nigeria now has had a space agency, I decided, that was going to be my route to being an astronaut, or if not, at least fulfilling my space enthusiast ambition. I began to see that the evidence for the ball was inadequate much later, actually after I'd already resigned, because I came to the United States to pursue a doctoral degree, and I had to resign in order to do that. And while here in the United States, I observed that we were able to see too far, and object heights that should have been hidden behind a curve are not. and way not.
near you?
Like pretty much a very flat
Why do I not
surface.
feel?
But then I also looked into the physics of Earth
Say
rotation.
that again. Did you say feel the love?
I'm not feeling it with this video, bro. It feels all icky and weird.
Yeah, it is, because it's really straightforward, and it's not going to ride the fence here. They're going to go flat, dude. This is biblical cosmology. This is flatlanders. That's what this is. They're not here to present like
Why
love.
build up to it with a cheesy story? Why not just fucking show the evidence and be done?
Well, they're going to. They're going to show a lot of evidence. This is like it's going to be like an hour's worth of it. Them doing tests, presenting their case. This is a straight up a documentary. They're going to build the storyline up with people that are credible. That's what they're doing.
But
You see what I'm saying?
that's not going to get to most people because they're not going to waste their time watching the first hour. If it's all like,
Well, because of the TikTok. Each one of these are a half hour a piece, or 36 minutes or so. And I think they're going to produce more of them. They're working more of them up in Alaska. They're well beyond what they should be, dude. So he's taking the money that he's got, and he's made an investment, and he's actually proving he's right. That's basically what he's doing. He's not telling everybody about it. So he's presenting it as he goes. And he's using Rockfin for a platform. So that's why I'm on Rockfin now. That's why this is not a YouTube video. Let's chase the dragon. You ready?
no, but we're going to do it.
Science doesn't actually.
Yep, we are. You're going to go to bed soon, right? I can carry it on from here. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to stay with you till I lay down. But fine.
All right.
Go on.
Okay.
I'm here.
All right. It's best to know than not, you know.
Yeah.
Actually
I'll
have
learn if there's something to learn.
any evidence
Yeah, I know.
that
But they're
Earth
I don't
is
know.
rotating. All experiments that
They're
have
going
been
to present a case
conducted
that people
to
can't argue
determine
with.
rotation
There you go.
proved
That's
null,
what I want. I want bullshit.
meaning that such motions were not detected. So not only was the rotational motion not detected, the revolution motion around the sun was
Ryan.
also not
Kumbaya.
detected in very precisely conducted
I didn't say it. That was
scientific
Matthew
experiments.
Easter.
So science doesn't have evidence that the Earth rotates or that it revolves around the sun.
Come by here,
And
my
then
lord.
we don't have evidence that there's a curve. And so those were the two primary sources of anomalies that I relied upon to begin to question the heliocentric model.
I became a pilot actually while I was in the Air Force. I went into the Air Force very early. I actually went in at 17. My parents had to sign for me to get in. And I always wanted to learn how to fly. Well, fortunately, in the Air Force, they have these things called aero clubs. I actually got my pilot's license in the military, even though, and it was by military flight instructors, but it was not as a military pilot. And I really wanted to be a commercial pilot, you know, flying the jet airliners, but I simply could not compete with the military pilots who had thousands of hours. And so I became an electrical engineer instead.
I'm just about as tired as you are,
never
probably.
account for curvature as a pilot. When you first learn how to fly, the very first thing that they tell you, and this is very telling, by the way, is they say to do a straight and level flight, pick a point on the horizon and fly towards it. And the plane will maintain level all by itself. You know, you just fly towards it. The planes that I learned how to fly on, they used mechanical gyroscopes. They were literally physically spinning up. They were inertially based devices, and their claim to fame is rigidity in space.
The gyroscope is suspended in a special cage that allows it to maintain its orientation independent of the aircraft's position. Electric sensors and contacts connected to the gyro send information to the pilot about the aircraft's orientation.
And when you understand exactly how they work, then you also know that when you fly forward for 69 miles, you will drop your nose by 1 degree, okay? And obviously in a jet plane, that happens a lot faster than in a small plane, but regardless, on a ball this size, you're going to drop your nose 1 degree every 69 miles like clockwork. The problem is is the gyroscope never registers that, ever.
You understand that now? In other words, pitch data rules, motherfuckers.
So, and that's something that you don't really think about at the time until you hear about the flat Earth, and you kind of go, wow, in retrospect, how did I ever miss that? That's just one of the things that I find very interesting about being a pilot, that you don't even realize, because we're not taught to think about the curvature of the Earth. Everything about flight, they teach you to act as if it was just on a flat, level,
Look at that
motionless surface.
Earth.
Now, I flew helicopters, and we flew what they call nap of the earth navigation, where it's basically treetop level. So I'm flying really slow and in the trees. Never would ever be a factor that would concern me. But as I'm traveling around doing conferences and stuff, I'm thinking, okay, I'm in an airplane flying 500 miles an hour, and it has an attitude indicator in the thing. Well, you look at, you have all these devices that you're looking at, instruments in the cockpit. There's radios, and there's airspeed indicators, there's altimeter, your attitude indicator, all kinds of stuff. But you're really focusing on those three, the attitude indicator, the airspeed indicator, and altimeter. And so you're always cross-referencing them. So if you've got your aircraft trimmed for straight and level flight, if you start to notice an increase in altitude that you didn't manually do, then chances are, if you're increasing in altitude, obviously you're in a climb. If you start increasing in airspeed, well, you may be in a dive. And conversely, if you may be slowing down in airspeed, then you may be in a climb. I'm thinking to myself, okay, wait, now if my airspeed and my altimeter are staying steady and my attitude indicator is straight and level, that's impossible on a ball, because we would have to register an increase in altitude exponentially over time, as you're flying over a ball.
Yeah,
this distance needs to be increasing.
Lift.
And the attitude indicator has a gyro in it that's meant to work independent of gravity. It's supposed to hold its position in space independent of gravity. So that doesn't work on a ball. Eventually you fly out in space. So then you start saying, well, do they nose the plane down? Well, no, they don't. They never do that, because then the attitude indicator would indicate something. You'd have to see the adjustment in the attitude indicator with the nose down. It just never happened. So this was one of the early things that got me questioning, what is the shape of this place that we're living on?
Whoa. That was nice.
My name is Daryl Lee. I was a mechanic in the U.S. Army. I was an electrical hydraulic mechanic for artillery. 7.5 years I was overseas in different spells between the United States and back to Europe. Ended up 12 years. An artillery mechanic. It was exciting. It was challenging. So yeah, I was a staff sergeant, E6. Coriolis was never applied during my whole military career at all. I can't count how many fire missions we've been on, and anywhere from firing an M16 or M3 all the way up to an M110, which is so many tons, with a 209-pound round, and that's a deadly ordnance that we fired. Never once we ever have to calculate Coriolis at all.
They say that the long-range shooters have to adjust for Coriolis effect, which they actually don't. But they'll tell you that when the bullet leaves the muzzle of the weapon, that is now suddenly independent of the movement of the Earth. In other words, that bullet's not going to travel in the air with the movement of the Earth. It doesn't make any sense.
And I'm the one that can verify that, because my job was to synchronize those sights with the barrel. And when the FTC guys, the survey guys, give the coordinates, I have to confirm those coordinates. There's no Coriolis to adjust to at all.
When I went to School of Infantry, I graduated honorman, and that meant I had a little special accolades and extra special training, was able to cross-train with other of the weapon systems that the Marine Corps employs. So I became an expert in all of my weapons that I was employed in. The Coriolis effect is one of my favorite topics to discuss. In my training with the Marine Corps, the 4 years I was there, and all the cross-training of all the weapon systems I've have experience with, including the 50 cal sniper rifle. Never even heard the words Coriolis effect. I wasn't even aware that any artillery or anybody would adjust sniper, artillery, tanks, naval ships, anybody would adjust for that. I never used it. I never heard of it. I've read through the Marine Corps manual, the sniper manual, not one mention of Coriolis effect.
How far would a round be off if we applied Coriolis to one of the weapons, the 109 or 110? Depending on the battery's location on the Earth, you can calculate from the equator, it says 39 miles an hour. You can take 1,039 miles an hour. You can take where your location is, and you can determine the speed that you're at.
So at the equator is spinning 1,000 miles per hour here. Here in Dallas, Texas, right about here, that's probably close to 750 miles per hour up here. And then when you get closer to the North Pole, 500, 250 miles per hour, 0 miles per hour. So it depends on where you are on this ball to adjust for the speed of the Earth, the Coriolis.
And from that, you can calculate and find out how much the target would rotate.
Not only that, you have to adjust for the direction you're facing. But my question is a sniper or anybody actually pulling out this mathematical formula in a combat situation and figuring out the math that it takes to adjust for the Coriolis effect?
To show the proof of that not existing is when you actually go out and fire. If you fire from 15 miles, you already know about how long it takes for that bullet to land. If the Earth rotated, moved at all, we don't make any calculations for that. We don't put any calculations in for that. But if we did, that round would miss by a long shot. And if anyone's ever done that, their career is ended on the spot, court-martial on the spot. So it's never, ever, ever been applied and never will be.
There's 4 major adjustments or factors in considering your adjustment for shooting long range that we were taught that speaks of it in the Marine Corps manual. And those 4 factors are, number 1, the munition, the round that you're using, its max effective range and all the weight and everything that you got to know the round in the weapon system that you're using. Number 2 is the distance to the target. Number 3 is your elevation, and number 4 is the wind resistance or the weather. And that's why in a lot of shooting ranges you'll see those flags to show which way the wind's blowing. And obviously out in the field and in a combat situation you're not going to have that, so you got to figure that out as well. If I'm shooting west to east in the direction that the Earth is spinning, that would be one adjustment because the target's going away from you. Then if all of a sudden I'm turning this way, facing north, you have a completely different Coriolis effect adjustment because now your target's going from one side to the other. Then you turn backwards and the Earth is spinning this way. The target's coming towards you and you're facing down, but are you actually adjusting that while you're actually shooting? The answer is no. We don't use an adjustment. Think about the scenario in a combat situation. A sniper's posted up downrange, you got the enemy downrange, and you already know your latitude, where you're going, how fast you're going, and your 4 factors to adjust for your shot. And all of a sudden, you got an enemy flanking you on this side or on this side. You're in the middle of a combat scenario and you're changing directions at any given moment. Are you really sitting out what you got to do in the heat of battle? The answer is no. It just doesn't exist. There's no such thing as Coriolis.
What I'm told now, they teach it in class.
You do remember the Coriolis book that Flat Scott we read through? It's mostly just he brought it over to me over in Discord. We went through the whole damn thing practically, looking for Coriolis being applied in any of the range calculations.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot more factors. There's wind, and I think it was muzzle velocity, the bore of the muzzle, and the wind resistance that you're going into. But they'd always throw it in there, the Coriolis. But for most of the situations, it was blank. It was registered as 0. They don't account for it. Longitude and latitude. Yeah. And when they first initiated the Coriolis thing, a lot of the captains, and this is even in the articles after the fact, that they were missing their targets applying the Coriolis effect or whatever you want to call it, or the force, better yet said. And they were missing their targets. They said, "Damn, we're missing our targets." No, they just stopped using it, dude. Most of the commanders and the ship captains were saying don't use it. So they quit using it. They went back to winning wars. So that's I hope I put into that one.
That's what we're about. We're about winning, not losing.
Or about winning wars, yes. So let's just adopt the Coriolis effect. Quit
Winning,
shooting guns. Yeah. Quit fighting. Quit learning about the world you live in, and just sit back and let everybody else run it for you. Be a dystopian society that you'll have to take care of yourself. I know.
That's a smarter thing to do, right?
Absolutely. Just let somebody else take control of the wheel. Right. I had to say that.
They teach that there's Coriolis, the
I get
Earth
that, though.
rotates, and all the mathematics are applied to it. When you go out on fire missions, have you ever applied what you were taught in the classroom out in the fire, in live fire? Because it doesn't apply. You can't apply that. They teach it to you, but you don't apply it. So that's part of the brainwashing.
Sabre 459er taxi, runway 30, wind 240 at 8, altimeter 2992. Sabre 459er.
I hope Scott was listening to that.
For takeoff. Well, my name is Robert Scott. I was an air traffic controller with the
Hey Scott, how you doing
FAA
tonight, man?
here in the U.S. for 24 years. I was stationed in different places, mostly small and regional airports, but it had to be big enough to have a tower. You know, I always loved aviation. Once I got to air traffic control school in Oklahoma, I just thought, I love this. This is great. This is
It's like the
practically better
times.
than
We
being
can go
a
into
pilot.
that
So
later.
I've always loved air traffic very much.
My job, Air Force, which is a 303X1.
How much more time
was
left
an
in
air
the sky?
traffic control radar specialist. And what I did is I installed and maintained
We're a little over
air
halfway.
traffic control radar systems. So what radar
About 1/3.
is a system in which you can determine the speed and the range of aircraft. And the way that is done specifically is an electromagnetic pulse is fired from a very directional antenna out to an area that you want to scan, okay? And at some point it will encounter presumably an aircraft. And when it does that, a certain part of that signal will be reflected back. Okay, so as that signal is coming back, what happens is the radar is internally timing how long it takes that pulse to come back. And by that pulse, using a Doppler effect, it can tell exactly how far away that aircraft is, and by continuing to fire these pulses and get continuous reflections from it, by the rate of Doppler change that those signals come back, we can actually gauge the speed of that aircraft. Some of the things that I witnessed that were very interesting about radar is that we would be able to track aircraft all the way down to the ground, and I do mean all the way down to the ground at distances of around 100 miles. And now that I know the calculation curvature, 100 miles is 6,666 feet of curvature, of drop. That is literally impossible because radar works at microwave frequencies, 2 to 6 gigahertz or even higher, anywhere in the microwave spectrum, and it is absolutely reliant on it being line of sight.
I told you it was
If you
microwave.
can't see it, it don't work.
Yeah,
When
light
you
is
take into
microwave,
consideration
and
that
it-
we're able
really
to track
concentrated
aircraft
level.
from whatever altitude they're
No,
coming
actually
in
it's not.
all
Light
the
is
way
not the
down to
same
the
thing.
ground at a
Microwave are
target
different.
100 miles away,
Okay, hold on.
and
We'll
knowing
have a
that
conversation
that
now.
target
All right.
should
Okay. Please.
Microwaves
how-
are not
how-
the same thing as Doppler. They're different. But
I didn't say
microwaves
Doppler.
is what they emanate. So they have microwave emitters. They're not radar. They're just microwave emitters.
Yeah.
Same thing your
But I mean-
microwave does. Same thing.
Yeah. It's a different spectrum of the light. I was just
Yeah,
that's all I
it's
said.
slightly
I
different
didn't say-
spectrum. But if you were to stand in front of it, it would heat you up. You'd feel it.
Yeah, I know. Like sonar, radar, or like that, dude. Yeah, microwave. Well, the original
Matter of fact, in
microwave.
World War II, lots of people came back with cancer over it.
Yeah. I'll give you the prime example of how I learned about it. My dad said that he talked to a couple of boys that were on subs down in the Arctic and in the Arctic Circle, and he said they used to warm their hands in front of the sonar arrays on the top of the sub, and they cooked their fingers. The freaking hand. They wouldn't let them do it anymore. And they
Yeah.
said that was before they had microwaves for your house. So they took the same idea and they're like, we could develop this into a heating source for your house. You can make a microwave oven. So the Amana was the first company to make a microwave. It wasn't a microwave. They call it a radar range. Amanda radar range. You can look it up. That's the original.
Exactly. Yep. That's what they call it.
I'm well aware of this, man.
But they changed the name of it because they didn't want people to realize that they were emitting this shit all over the sky. They didn't
And
want
you're
you to
using
know
it
that,
in your
because
house
then you'd
too.
be worried about the birds and everything. Yeah, you'd be worried about everything, and you should be, because if the Earth was curved, you'd be in big trouble.
Yeah. It'll be coming around you, cooking everything in the sky too.
Right. Well, it's already
All right.
is. Thank God it's flat so that they can keep it above where
Yeah.
we live, and it doesn't nuke us all. Yeah.
But I mean, they do broadcast the TVs and the satellite stuff, which is basically the same thing. It's the VHF, UHF signal
But
broadcast
that's
to your
different
horns.
signal, though,
Yeah, yeah. Well, they have special receivers for them. I used to put the damn things in for a living. It was
Right,
fun.
yeah. But you understand that the signal they send through the radio is different than they send through a cable line, right?
Oh yeah, I'm well aware of it.
Making sure. All right.
I've been in this industry for a while. All right, let's get back to Mr. Nodell talking. I think if he wouldn't have even talked to those people after he used that ring laser gyro, we even give him any audience because it's a caged device. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't work like they think it does. They're making it spiritual or something.
Ring laser doesn't make any difference.
No,
It's
just
still
the way it.
measuring lividity of the Earth. You don't have to. It's coming down.
And rigidity of the horizon.
Hi, robotic?
They keep that. No, you're crackling a little bit.
Oh, it's
Here.
probably because I got my fucking shirt closed. It's cold out here and it's covering up my mic. Sorry.
Are you walking through the neighborhood now? I've
No,
noticed you haven't had any incidents of people coming up trying to dump trash in your yard in the past week or two.
No, but somebody did come and do a burnout right next to my house. Almost caught it.
That was nice of them. Yeah.
And it's a brand new truck too. It makes you wonder, like, why you would take a brand new truck and just do a peel out right next to someone's house for no reason. Right?
Because he doesn't own that truck, the bank owns it.
Probably. Yeah, he realizes that.
Like, oh yeah, I don't
usually
own
don't
this.
have trouble with people, but lately, yeah, it's been like weird. It's like everybody in the fucking neighborhood seems to be wanting to test whether this old man's gonna fuck them up or not, and they're finding out they're wrong. I will fuck
They
you
will
up.
find.
I will hurt you.
I will fuck your ass up.
I won't do it for
Hey.
no reason. You're gonna have to be doing something wrong, but I don't mess around. I don't around my house. Fuck around you find out.
Everybody in the audience says you're roboting. Well, Scott said you are. Not everybody.
No, he said that earlier, but
Okay. Thank God the Earth is level. He did say. Yeah.
yeah, that's what I said. I know that's why he said the same thing I did. What's up, Scott? He's probably
Yo.
Good
on the
evening,
text.
evening, Scott. How's it going?
It's going good. How you guys doing?
Well, just kicking back, reviewing a show. We did one last night on Taboo Conspiracy with the Flatlanders doing their observations. He put a video out last night.
Taboo?
reviewed
Yeah,
it.
that's awesome.
He liked it. He was over on Vlad's. Vlad was doing the same thing. Yeah. go
Dude,
ahead.
honestly, I kind of miss Bob, dude. I mean, I really do miss Bob, like a family member, like
Yeah,
an
he is.
uncle, like Uncle Bob, dude.
Well, he got in a lot of beef with a lot of people though, real quick.
I know, dude. And honestly, dude, do you know about this? I mean, I'm sure I'm told you, like the Wide Awake. Like, I mean, a lot of people were like, Bob's a shill. Like, no, he's not. He's pretty smart, dude. He was very smart. He knew a lot about.
Well, I think "shill's" a strong word.
Yeah, it is, and a lot of people toss that around here.
Maybe I don't know, but I don't
Yeah.
know Bob. I didn't get to meet the guy. I never really talked to him. I just knew he was on, Glowbusters with Sharon for a while, and then
Yeah,
all that shit
I've
went
talked to
down.
him.
That's all I know.
I've talked to him, and he's a real person, and he
Yeah,
wasn't
is,
trying
definitely,
to.
Yeah.
He wasn't trying to be fake or anything. Like
No, I don't think he was either.
but he might come across as kind of condescending. Like I might do that, but it doesn't mean I'm condescending. I mean,
Doesn't
I
make
love
you a
everyone.
prick. Yeah.
Yeah, a prick. That's funny.
Well, you have
but
to
no,
be a prick
he's
to tell the fucking truth, don't you? Because nobody
Exactly, yes.
Anyway,
He's
you
really
have to
low.
be a prick
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, Ryan, dude.
You got to be stern.
It is.
Yeah, I got him turned down. Yeah, he was making a lot of noise earlier, so He was I don't
Ryan,
know
fix
what
your connection. Your connection that it's like you're on your mic or something.
he's on his phone. That's why it's like that.
It's like crackling.
Yeah.
But anyway, Bob is actually a very smart person. He was. I mean, he is. I mean, he's still here, right? Look, watch, you'll see. Go ahead,
Okay.
play it. It's awesome.
You play it? Have you watched the whole Flatlanders episodes yet?
No, I haven't. That's why it's kind of cool.
I think I have them recorded.
You do? Oh, why don't you say something? I'm just giving.
I actually have tried to share that with you, but you always just ignore me.
No, I haven't, man. I don't remember you saying. I got a Flatlanders episode. It's got Bob Nodell, but Jared's.
No, what I have is I have all that data that they did with the laser test, the actual laser test. I have the data that they collected beforehand, before they made the movie. That's better.
Yeah, I think I saw that with FE Core when they were putting that together.
Exactly. That's the one I have. I have a copy of that one
Oh, that's awesome.
on my hard drive. So
That's
not
dude.
like it's a
That's
big
awesome.
deal, but
dude.
I'd share it with
No,
you.
Ryan, I can barely hear you because you're crackling. But dude, that's cool that you have it on a hard drive, dude. Because we need to. Oh, am I cutting out?
Damn it.
No, am I
it
cutting
was
out,
for a second,
Roger?
but You're fine.
No, you're good now. You're good now. I think it's
you're
just
good.
all of our connection. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is what happens sometimes, But you're definitely
We're running on
very.
the show with a laptop, like a $1,000 laptop. That's why I'm running the show on. So that's sometimes they'll have some problems. And see, Lightning's in there. He's saying, "Hey, see, Lightning." Sorry. Go ahead, Scott. I just want to say hi to him right quick.
Oh, hey everyone! Awesome.
Got to keep happy, man. Got to say hi to people.
No, but dude, I was liking what you were showing, and it's cool. It's awesome to talk about it.
Oh yeah.
And obviously to break it up a little bit. But rest in peace, Bob, dude. I miss Bob a little bit. I mean, a lot.
I said that at the beginning when I first started playing, and even Rob Skiba too.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, I miss. It's so crazy. The same time period too. The same freaking. I don't know.
Well, I think he pushed the wrong buttons with somebody somewhere because he started getting pretty deep into like lensing, magnification, and he started building his own like flat Earth model. You can determine what skylines look like. Well, yeah. And Jaren's still selling the damn things, man. You can buy them, and his wife too. And they say the COVID got him. I'm not really sure about that, man. That's so sketchy.
I don't honestly. I feel like he made a bad decision to go to a hospital. In the hospital, and they might have put him on a ventilator, and they might have killed him. They might. He might have passed.
His wife tried to get him out of the hospital.
I know all about it, dude.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't know you. I used to listen to Rob Skiba, and remember they started doing the deep dives into the Bible with what's his name? And a lot of people don't like the other guy. What's his name? The guy that Rob Skiba was doing shows with.
I know who you're talking about, but I don't know his name.
A mental block.
I've been on their website and I've seen their brochures and stuff, and I was looking at Rob Skiba's, his magnification model of the Chicago skyline, and he sells the kits, and it's the same website.
Oh
They
yeah.
share it.
Well, what was the guy's? Oh, Zen Garcia.
Okay, yeah, he's actually in this video somewhere.
I'm sure, yeah. But like Zen Garcia, but what I'm saying though is like, I used to watch them like read the whole Bible in the old scriptures. Like they're not even like the Berean or not even the Berean. It's like there's what's it called? Like the old scriptures where there's the Hebrew and the I can't remember what the name of it is, but they used to they broke it down. Like they really every show they did, it was like just one chapter, and they would talk about it. That's what I used to do back in the days, read the Bible a lot. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was raised in the church, man. I've been through the entire Bible, and I have not yet found a globe mentioned anywhere, even in the Chaldean Hebrew. And you have to really bend the Greek to get it out of it, too.
Dude, how funny is it, Roger? Think about this, right? So, as a person that has read the Bible many times, right? You have, right? Okay, so the So the circle of the Earth is the only thing they have is as trying to say, like, oh, that's a globe. Like, what do you a circuit or a circle? Like, no, dude, because I don't believe. Go ahead.
They mentioned a ball once in Isaiah, but it's not really pertaining.
No,
to the
it's not the
shape
same
of
ball. No. I know what you're saying.
Yeah. Go ahead.
But the circuit or the circle is the only thing that is even close to being. But, of course, they'll say, it was written so long ago. They didn't know yet because they didn't go to space, right?
Of course.
That's what my mom would say. That's what anyone would say, like, that wants to argue with me about flat Earth, right?
Well, I've heard like Christians actually say, well, science doesn't agree with the Bible, like literally. Like,
yeah.
The shape of the Earth and science are two different things. Science, this is a category area you're looking at. Scientifically, you can prove what phenomena are and how they react certain ways, but that doesn't in any way, shape, or form tell you the geometry or shape of anything you look at. They want to break it down to that atomic molecular structure, and that's where they want to install the solar system into our minds, like in the atoms and the nucleuses and stuff. They want to make the space age real. Like yeah, that's all it is.
Well, I talked to my mom the other night, after like a long time, and Nathan Oakley.
Yeah, you know Nathan Oakley is, right?
Yeah. What about him?
Well, he's here somewhere. Yeah, he's in the chat. You say hi, Nathan. He might stop by. This is the first time he's been in my chat, so.
But anyway, so like it's funny because they were talking to me about the hurricanes.
Nathan's been in here before.
He's been in a chat. I thought he was over at PJ's. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
Well, maybe so, but I think he's been in here too. He's come in here before.
Huh. Well, Nathan. If you want to come in and tell us what you know about
yeah, please
Bob
do.
Modell. Yeah, he's actually talked to Bob several occasions. He knows him quite well.
Well, hello, Roger.
He's had to deal with them. I know. I'm becoming popular nowadays.
This morning, though, I was going to say he's probably not
fault,
got coffee in him yet. How is it my fault?
No coffee yet? Well, you made me popular, man. The monster made me what I am today. If you want to come in, you don't have to. I'll just invite you in to share your side of Bob Modell story. You have a little more insight than I do, probably. And Sky, you've talked to him, you said, right? Are you still there, Scott? Can you hear me?
Yes, I've talked to Bob Modell, and it's funny because I've talked to him about beef with other people, but it made him seem like, he's kind of, because everybody has beef with people, right? But the thing is, though, the guy Bob does know about actual physics. He knows about. I mean, he's like a smart person, dude. How many smart people do you know, Roger? Roger, how many right now? Count it on your hand. On your hand, in person, how many people do you know that are smart? Like super smart, like really smart, that you meet every day?
Everyday people I meet?
Yeah, everyday people you see.
I have
How many
people I know personally that I bump into at least once a week. But
awesome.
It used to be.
Three.
It used to be every day. I would, because I worked with a few that were actually smart enough to figure it out.
Yeah. So
Nathan's going to take his daughter to swimming. So I'll let you know.
So think about how many people are smart. I mean, I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm smarter than you, but I'm kind of smarter than a lot of people, right? It's a high percentage of people that are not very smart, but it's because they've been brainwashed by what do you call it? What have they been brainwashed by?
Education, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Ding, ding, ding. This just in. We've been brainwashed by education for our whole entire lives, right?
Yeah. They want to think. So they want to think for you, dude. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, we have to think. Well, actually, if you think about it, we think for them. We pass tests for them. We go to school for them according to their doctrine, right? Or education, like you said, whatever you want to call it, right? So therefore, we have been surrounded by a lot of not very, let's call it, what do you call it? Not dumb, but like dumbed down, uneducated people.
It reverse. It has a reverse effect.
I prefer retarded, mentally ill, and stupid. But that's just me.
Well, that's from food and other things, but
sorry. Politically incorrect.
Oh, Ryan's back.
Sorry, dude.
I'm just saying,
But
bro.
you know-
Like, I'm so tired of people
he's
saying
back
that.
and
Oh, you
forth.
can't be critical of people that are liars. If you're a liar, dude, I'm going to call you out, and I'm going to call you a liar. That's just all there is to it. If you don't like it, then don't tell lies.
Yes, I agree with that, Ryan.
Yeah, it's like,
If the
people
shoe
need to fucking
fits,
chill
wear it,
out, man.
Some people can't stop lying, and a lot of people build their careers on lies. Like car salesmen, for instance.
It is easy to lie. Trust me. I know. I'm a human
Yeah.
being. I know what it's like. But, I mean, there's a difference between lying about stupid stuff that you're trying to protect people's feelings for, like in your family, and there's a whole different thing about going out and just telling a story that's complete bullshit. To me, there's a completely different line there. Like, if you tell me a white lie, I may not even be mad at you because I realize that you're just trying to keep me from being upset about whatever. Or maybe you don't want me to know that you're upset with me. Who knows? But I can deal with that because that's a human thing. That's what normal people will do. They'll protect their feelings, or they'll protect mine by thinking that they're going to keep something from me, right? But in reality, I kind of rather just know the truth. If you don't like me, just say so. It's easier. Then we could deal with that now, and we don't have to go through all this shit later. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. You're breaking up a lot again, but like, I agree with everything you said. I can hear you.
Sorry about the mic.
Yeah, his daughter's name is Clover. She goes into epileptic seizures too, so I'm pretty sure that's the girl he's taking. I don't know if she swims or it's his other daughter. If you were asking about how old she was, and
oh, yeah. She's 5. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the right age to teach him. I'm guessing that she doesn't know how to swim yet. That's why you're taking her. I'm just guessing, right?
yeah, and this I think it's a good thing, man.
Yeah, that's about the time when they taught me. I was like 4 or 5 or 6 or somewhere in there, and they just tossed me in the pool, and they were like, here, the side of the pool's there, you know where to go, but they pushed me out farther and farther every time I came back, so I figured out, hey, I can swim. And then next thing you know, I was swimming across the pool all the time. No big deal. Hey, there he is. What's up, Ironworks?
Yeah, it's Ironworks. Hey, I kind of watched her grow up somewhat on Nathan's show.
So you got
He
your
had her on there all the time.
You got your caps lock on by accident because you're showing small letters at the beginning.
Yeah, I see it. Maybe he did it on purpose just to mess with you, dude.
You never know.
That's Clover, because now when I was watching the Fed, he would always have her on, and whenever she'd have a problem, he would tell everybody, I guess, to a point. It's kind of like a family thing. Kind of grew up watching his kids grow up for a while on the show, so you get to you feel like you're part of the family, and kind of it's good. I guess it's a good way to reach people if you have a family persona and people can relate with you. It makes it easier for you to pass information along to them, especially education.
You did a great job, by the way. We do like we like your attitude and all that. You do a great job, bro.
I wanted to azimuthal maps that they present you if you have time. That's what I wanted to do with you. That's why I was asking you in your chat on your channel if you feel like it. If not, I could talk to you about it later. If you don't want to even hear about it, you don't have to. I just wanted to go over it.
Yeah, we realized you just went through like 4 hours of bullshit.
Yeah, I know. I know you're screaming at the camera, man.
You're probably done.
He's done with it. Yeah, for tonight. That's what happens when you invite Brenda on your show. And so I was right. We shouldn't invite her on. Yeah. Ding, 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 ding. Man. Rethink's talking about Vlad, isn't it? Can you see his icon or his avatar? Have you seen it? His head's upside down or whatever.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was trying to figure out exactly what it was. Laying on a bed or something and just looking at him upside down.
Yep, that's strange. You want to go back to the video, guys? You ready?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not getting any biters or takers to come in.
Well, I mean, if they could complain, they would.
Oh no, I'm asking Vlad if he wanted to come in. I wanted to go over to Gleason's projection. Yeah, and how it's really
he hasn't said anything else since he said. showing some love. Maybe that's all he
I
came
think
for.
he's probably tired, dude. Yeah. He's been doing a show for like 3 hours.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I do an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I'm Bush usually, so I get it.
All right, I'm going to play Bob Nodell some more.
Should be 6,000 plus foot below the curvature. That kind of eliminates the ball model.
Well, you know, in air traffic control, they have two different types of radar. There's a short range, but airport-based radar goes out to 60 miles. And then for the long flights and high altitude and off coast,
That reminds me.
it can go out to, it's en route radar, and it can be 200 miles. So they can detect targets 200 miles away. So in radar, the point is it has to be able to have a direct line to the airplane. So with regards to the shape of the Earth, I never thought about it as I worked for 24 years. You didn't say, wait a minute, I think that target is too
Why'd they cut it
low
out?
for me to see at that distance.
What do they cut out?
Nobody ever even thinks about that.
I don't know, but you can tell they
But
cut
in
something out there.
reality, now knowing what
Let's go back a little bit.
must be, if we live on a ball,
Okay.
200 miles
There's the
away.
cut
Right
spot.
about-
Detect
Right there,
targets
Dude,
200 miles away.
Roger, really quick,
So in radar,
Go ahead.
really quick. So Coriolis, like that's a good topic. Good topic, right? So I, one of my friends from way back in the day. Are you getting the feedback? Is there feedback? That's not me,
No,
right?
me.
No.
No, you're good.
So like, dude, a friend of mine from seriously, like from.
I hear it. It's really faint, but I hear it in the background too.
It's probably you, Ryan.
Huh.
Are you listen on YouTube?
No, I got a headset on. I don't think you're gonna hear mine.
I got a headset on too. Oh well, it doesn't matter. So a
It's
friend of
Roger
mine,
for sure.
a friend of mine,
maybe.
he's a military guy, and he went shooting.
No.
He's not a military. No, he went to a military like shooting range, and he's like, "Hey guys, do you guys know about Coriolis?" They're like, "No, that doesn't. That's not a real thing." And like he's like, "So, what do you think about like how they're this flat?" They're like, "Of course, it's like level. It's like it's flat, dude." And it's so cool when you hear stories from people that just say, "Hey, to people like, what do you think about this?" Like, we're not gauging according to the Earth rotating while we're shooting this gun, and he's shooting like what was it like a long way, like 1,000 yards or 300 yards, whatever it was, 1,000 feet or something like that. I mean, like a long distance, and he's like, dude, it was so cool to meet people that got it. They get it, but they don't want to be one of those people.
I got
They don't want to go out there and tell everyone, but like when they just respond, they just say, hey, yeah, I get it. But they're like, they're not going to go out there in the world and start telling people the Earth is flat,
Yeah, they don't think that it's a requirement. If you can't figure it out by the time you're a teenager, you didn't figure it out.
Well, dude, I mean, seriously, every freaking long range rifleman, everyone, all of them, everyone knows that you don't have to adjust according to the spin of the Earth, dude. The spin of the Earth has nothing to do with anything. It's wind, it's atmospheric pressures, and that's it. I mean, you shoot straight, dude. That's why it's called shooting straight, dude. Like you said, your what was it? Grandpa was a spotter.
That was my dad, actually. Yeah,
your
My
dad was a spotter.
Yeah, he was a radar man and a spotter in Vietnam for 3 years or so. He got the gist of basically all these arguments a long time ago. He never woke me up one morning and said,
So
"Hey,
Roger, my dad was the guy that was on. He was, dude. It's so crazy. My dad in Vietnam, dude. My dad like pretty much partied in Vietnam, but what he did was he was a captain. Like he was a higher ranking in his whatever on the what do you call them? The aircraft carriers, right? He'd hang out with the aircraft carriers and he would play basketball. He's like, I played basketball, and like one time, dude, he told me, Roger, one time they got shot at when they were leaving, and I'm like, and he seemed like he made it seem like when I was a kid that he was like in war. No, he wasn't in war, dude. He was flying above with those things. You know those naval planes that have the giant, the giant freaking radars on them back in the day in the 70s.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You know,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like he was the one that was on the plane, not a pilot, but he was like, he was pretty much using the radar stuff, And like he pretty much he sailed through the whole, because I have an uncle that was freaking a Marine on the ground, and he has like a lot of problems. Like he actually saw everything down there. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, bro? Like,
yeah,
that's the real like on the ground stuff.
Yeah, I got family that were Marines too. I got a couple uncles that were in. I have an uncle that was in the Air Force as a pilot too. On top of that, one of my best friends is that when I was growing up was a Korean pilot who flew in the war over there, and I was raised with his kids, so for like 3 or 4 years of my childhood. So I got a complete military background. I was born as a Navy brat to start with. My grandfather, a midshipman. He was a navigator on a ship. And he was actually captured at Bataan at the Death March and spent 4 years in a POW camp in Japan.
Yep.
And
dude, Roger, dude, listen to this, dude. So I mean, obviously, I'm super military. Now that my girlfriend, pretty much my wife, like her grandfather was a freaking 4-star general or 3 or 4-star general, like in the Army. Like he was like, I'll you know what? I'll get your information, your email or something, and I'll show you, dude. Dude, I sat next to. He was called the general. He's the general, and I was like, dude, I sat next to the general, and he was cool, man. I mean, he was old at that point, because he was like about to die. Like he died like maybe 5 years later after I met him.
Man. What are you talking about?
But dude, he was freaking. You know what's so cool, Roger? Roger, you'll love this, dude. He was an Army general in World War II, and he brought instruments. He brought musical instruments over there to make the there's all kinds of stories about it where he brought he wanted to make the troops like happier with instruments. Like he was a musical guy, and he was a Christian guy. He was a good dude. It was awesome. And all his family, it's crazy. It's crazy when you think about how much a lot of our families have been through, to make this place better, dude. And everybody wants to talk shit about freaking America and or the U.S. and I mean seriously, like I'm like, dude, you guys don't even know what people have been through in the past. I'm sorry.
Well, my dad had fun over on R&R in Thailand and Australia.
Yeah. My dad did too. In Vietnam, yeah. He's like, you know what I did? I took off my I put on civilian clothes just to hang out with the girls, and like my dad used to hang out in freaking Iceland. He's like, yeah, the girls are hot there. I'm like, okay, Dad. Dude, he's a lucky bastard, dude. Seriously, my dad was a lucky bastard, dude. I'm not joking, dude. Lucky guy.
My daughter spent 4 years in Germany in the Army. So my youngest, she did that before she got really started in the world. So.
Yeah, my girlfriend was born in Germany when her dad was in Germany I mean, dude, that's what I'm trying to tell you is like, I already had a family of Army. I mean, not Army, it was Navy mainly, but like then her dad and then her brother, he went to the Marines and he got out. He got out because we told him to, because he's like 30 now, but like, he was like 18. We're like, don't do it. And he didn't go. This is like in 2020 or no, 2019, I think. Like, right around that time where it's like, no, you shouldn't do that,
No. Hey, One Mind's in. Hey, One Mind, how you doing? I forgot he came in. I'm going to go for a second. I got to go to the little boys' room. I'll be back in a second. Ryan, keep them company.
Bro, that's way too much information. You could have just said I have to, you know.
Yeah, you don't have to. Little boys' room. Little boys' room.
you really have a little boys' room? Wow. Okay. All right. How
Yeah,
low
are
is
you
the
gonna
floor?
hold?
Is it like really low to the floor so that way you don't miss?
I'll hold your hand. I'll hold your hand while you
And
go.
how deep is the water in there? I can think of I can think of a few horrible jokes to say about that.
Well, dude, I mean, remember back in the day, Ryan? I'm sure you've been there, where there's troughs and everyone's pissing in the trough. Think about when they're all pissing and they're all holding hands. Like, what? That would be very gay, Roger. Very gay.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Kumbaya. That would be the kumbaya.
So you're still breaking up a little bit. I don't know how I sound, but how's it going, Ron?
No, you're good. It's just I have a bad mic. It's probably because my signal is bad.
Yeah.
All right, girls. So girls, I'm back.
I'll switch over to Wi-Fi and see what changes. Hold on.
It's crackly. It's crack.
More appropriate.
It's snap, crackle, pop.
You guys aren't even listening to me. I'm talking to myself.
Roger, you've never been in one of those troughs, like there's all a bunch of dudes pissing in troughs.
Yeah, when I went to Catholic school, that's all they had in the boys' room. Was the troughs.
The Catholic school. What?
Yep.
That might be the funny.
The Sacred Heart Academy.
See,
Ryan,
I'm sorry.
hold on. I gotta get.
Sorry.
I don't know why it's crackling.
There you go. You're better. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I switched to Wi-Fi and it cut me off completely. I couldn't even hear you at all. It's weird.
Yeah. Oh wait, I can hear you better.
Yeah, you're a lot better, dude.
I guess it worked then.
Maybe.
Now they during my middle
Give it
school
time.
they put me in Catholic school and I was raised by nuns for a while. It wasn't easy, dude. It was far from easy. You think?
Yeah, I got
Catholic
my
school,
hand swatted by him too. Oh well.
We had a principal, and she was known as the electric paddle herself. So she would whoop your ass, dude. She did not take anything. Her name was Sister Jill. I forgot her last name, but she was hard, dude. It's like going to boot camp. Getting beat up in the schoolyard every day for your lunch money, or kicking people in the shins.
I think we might have a skeptic in the chat there.
Do we? Is that the one that just came in?
Well, his name's Jay, but he said I'm trying to figure out what he's talking about. But he says rivers can't work on whatever blank. Mississippi starts at Lake Itasca at 1475. Yeah, we know it goes downhill. It's not a curve.
It's elevation.
It's a slope, you moron. Hello.
He's preaching to the
difference
choir.
between a slope. And we understand that the earth itself, the dirt, is actually not perfectly flat. We get that. But it is a plane because the water all around it is absolutely flat. So it only makes sense that if you have flat water, then you also have a plane. It's really not hard to figure out, bro. It really isn't.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but we understand the information he's pawning off out here. So, yeah, and I've heard that equation with the Mississippi. The same with the Nile too. The Nile is 1,000 miles flat.
So-called curvature. That's funny.
Yeah.
I think he was making a joke there, but I might have been wrong about that. But just in case, I was just like, "What?"
Man, you are critical. I'm telling you.
Well, I mean,
Scott,
come on, bro. Like, make it clear. I mean, we're all intelligent here, right? We all can write sentences and paragraphs. Well, we all learned English, right?
That's somewhat. Oh hell.
If you only misspell the words, then I'm not going to get mad at you. But if you can't even form a sentence come on, give me a break.
I got you. I was asked Scott a question. They didn't stick you. Oh, yeah, he dropped out. Scott, where'd you go? I was going to ask him a question.
I don't know. That happens to us a lot. I think maybe it's just signal's bad.
Brian, did you?
I went to Catholic school for a little while. Both.
Yeah, I thought so. It's part of the drill in America.
I went to a Christian academy. I caught up 2 years of school in 1 year by going to a Christian academy, and was smarter afterwards too. Believe it or not, I actually did so much better in school when I went back to I think it was 8th grade. Yeah, because I failed 7th, right? So I went to 8th grade, I was going to go back to 7th, but my dad put me in a Christian thing where you could work at your own pace. That's why they call it a PACE program, PACE. The weird part was that you had to memorize a verse of the Bible on every little packet that you did, and the packets were like maybe 12 pages long. So you get a new packet every day, and then you could work for it, and it would show you on your list how many packets you had to finish the year out or whatever you had to do. And I had to start at the beginning of 7th grade. So I worked through 7th grade in like 3 months, and then I worked on the rest, and I finally actually passed and was able to pass a test to get into school and get the right grade. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I don't know how that was possible, but I'm telling you, I learned more in that little packet program than I ever did reading huge books and having teachers preach to me. I'm telling you, I learned it all just by reading the booklets myself and just answering the questions.
Well, after I got out of Catholic school, my parents kind of did that for 2 years. They put us in.
And this wasn't easy. This was difficult stuff. It wasn't like simple stuff, but they threw in there, lessons and stuff and Bible verses that you had to memorize. And at the end of the test, you had to not only answer the questions, but you had to recite the verse perfectly. Otherwise, you failed. And so sometimes they give you a chance to re-say it or re-memorize it, but you only got a few of those. So, but I remember I had these stars on there, and they showed me at the head of time how many of these stars I had to get done in order for me to pass last year, 7th grade and 8th grade to get back where I was, and I did. I did it in less than a year. It was awesome.
Well, after I got done with
That's probably the smartest thing my dad ever did for me was that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Even though I dropped out in 12th grade,
Good God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens when the whole school hates you. I mean, and they did.
The whole school hated you? Everybody?
Well, everybody thought that the shop teacher that we had was the coolest guy in the world because he was stealing cars from everybody in town and then giving the parts to the kids in the high school. So when I caught his ass stealing and I got him arrested, they all hated me for it. So, and I'm not lying about that. I know all about it. I remember the people's names and everything. I guarantee you go back and look up his name. You'll find out he did get arrested. And yes. And for that reason.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I was trying to iterate the fact
and what's weird is that we figured it out so weird too. How we figured it out was so weird. But anyway.
Okay.
He left a trail of parts. I mean, he had the car. He had my friend of mine's car in his backyard, and we got tips from people that were saying that they saw somebody driving by in a car like that. Went down that street. We walked around and looked, started looking over fences, and sure enough, we found this car in the backyard of it, and we didn't even know whose house it was. And after we called the police and they got him out there, I was like, oh my God, I couldn't believe it was my teacher. Blew my mind.
Yeah. Well, I never had that problem necessarily at school, but after I was in Catholic school, my dad did the same thing. He put me in 2 years in a Christian academy in a place called Stanley, North Carolina. And I spent 2 years there. And the curriculum wasn't easier, but the teachers were easier. They weren't as hard on you. They actually taught you. They walked you through the curriculum and showed you how to do it. That's teaching. That's what I think personally. Yeah. But it's smaller,
the pastor of my church was my teacher, and he literally would come in there and sit down with me and help me with my homework. You're right, absolutely right. And that's probably why I cared, because somebody else actually cared about what I was doing and whether I was getting the answers right. And it also, they didn't just teach you stuff, but they actually taught you things about the Bible and about, things that are good, that taught you why you need to know this information. It wasn't just, you need to learn this crap. It wasn't that kind of attitude. So I took it well. Mm-hmm. I wish I would have stayed in that school. Actually, after I would have graduated high school and went to college then. But like I said, socially, I just couldn't deal with it.
I think Scott dropped out. Well, I think we should. Yeah, I know.
Well, thanks for coming in, though, bro. Like, honestly.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah.
I
hope I didn't say anything to freak him out or something, but
no,
I don't think I did. But I'm just making sure. I do have a bad habit of saying weird things, and people get here too.
I don't know if I tried to scare him off with the question. I was going to ask him if they stuck him in any private schools when he was younger. But,
yeah. I figured that's where you're going with it.
Yeah, but I don't think he either didn't want to answer the question, or either that, or he just got kicked out.
Yeah.
He's up in the hills in North Carolina, dude. There's not a whole lot of reception up there, even though Starlink is supposedly a thing. And Dave Weiss's theory about Starlink is actually just the airlines that are flying planes, and they.
Oh, that makes sense. Well, it does make sense. They're always in the air. That would be the best way to do it. I think that's how they do it. I think that's how they get all their high altitude footage. I think they take it from the bottom of the airplanes and they steal it from them by just putting the camera on there and then just grabbing the information digitally.
Yeah, the best live
probably not even aware of it.
The best live feeds that I've got out of the ISS quote unquote station was the Russian side, and they were just taking high altitude photography straight. They weren't trying to look at the curve or anything. They were just taking like the Black Sea, taking pictures of the basin Georgia and a couple other not countries, but I guess provinces in Russia. They were going over there, and I'm asking myself the question while I'm watching these live. Jeff Gaffett and Jill Deluxe.
I just saw them too.
Uh-huh.
Deluxe.
Yeah, Deluxe.
I didn't catch that. I was talking and.
I know.
Yeah, that's what happens
It's
when
hard.
you're talking.
Yeah, I'm the Flatlanders. I think we'll finish this one off and then through tonight. What do you think? You good with that?
Good for me.
I'm just getting an idea of where Ben, or you know what they call him in the groups he runs, and they call him Little Ben because Little Ben's a flat earther, and they make fun of him, dude. His lawyer friends, they call him Little Ben.
Little Ben.
Yeah, because he's a flat earther, they call him Little Ben. That's watch some of the rebuttal videos that people have done towards Taboo Conspiracy's observations. They tell him he doesn't do his homework, he doesn't know what the size of the globe is and shit, but they call him Little Ben. They make a reference, like they're joking around, you know, carefree like about it. They're not trying to be mean, but they gave him a nickname, Little Ben. Yeah, I found all this stuff when I started talking to Ben over on I DM him on his channel, and he'd answer me back, and we'd start talking. That's where I introduced Mikey to him. And he said, "Yeah, I'd like to see his observations." And we started looking into satellites, and coming to find out, like satellite engineers, like 80% of them, from what I can tell, looking through their catalog, you would say, of engineers, that their primary career before they became a satellite engineer was a screenwriter or a book writer. They were authors. They weren't anywhere near technically engineered, skilled people. They had no background in it, but all of a sudden these people are on the list as satellite engineers or rocket engineers. Do you understand what I'm saying? The career doesn't fit what they did for a living. They just have the title as satellite engineer, and it's on like Ball's website, Merex website. They're all subcontractors to NASA. They build satellite parts and they put them together. But these people don't have any like scientific background or any training necessarily in the industry.
Got promoted to the job.
Yeah, but they're just screenwriters. So they are book writers. It's like Arthur C. Clarke was right. He invented satellites when he wrote about them in a book. So I was looking into it, and I was giving him leads on where to look for it. And I thought of it first. I sat back and thought about when I used to do satellite installations and how it works. And I'm like, well, if they broadcast on a radio bandwave and they put it on a different frequency, those LNB and LNC horns that they use would just be made for that frequency, and they could just put the frequency out there on the band, and you just pick it up with your satellite dish like an antenna. It's not really picking up a signal from a satellite; it's picking up a radio band signal from the towers. And that's where I when doing installations, we have to aim our satellites at this exact point, and they never moves. And then they came up with I never heard of geocentric satellites till after I did that stuff. And I put, it's like I'm putting the pieces together backwards. Like, oh yeah, I remember that satellite dish never moved. It sat there pointing at the same direction. Didn't move. But now what are the odds of that?
Even when they did move, they were only moving to a different tower to get a different channel, because it used to be that every channel had its own tower.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, we had like 6 of them that I actually used to get.
But they always
satellite
faced
signal.
the horizon, no matter where they pointed. It was always towards the horizon, bro, every time.
Just a little like 4 to 5 degrees above the horizon. It aimed at almost like just a slight.
Just over the tree line. Just over the tree line, of course.
So yeah, satellites. Pretty much that's what me and Ben were talking about over emails and stuff. Not emails, but over Messenger. So yeah. And then I brought Eddie Banjo. I sent Mikey over there, and Eddie said he wanted to see his work, and he brought his work over there on Eddie's channel. So that's my contribution to the Flat Earth community.
All right, I'm going to lay down, so I'm not going to be talking, but I'll chat.
Okay, and I'll go ahead and play this and let the guys watch the rest of it. Sorry about the story time, guys, but that does happen every once in a while when people come in. Yeah. All right, I'm going to play it.
The point is, it has to be able to have a direct line to the airplane. So with regards to the shape of the Earth, I never thought about it as I worked for 24 years. You didn't say, wait a minute, I think that target is too low for me to see at that distance. Nobody ever even thinks about that. But in reality, now knowing what must be if we live on a ball, the fact is that at even just 180 miles, any airplane below 26,000 feet, if the radar can see it, the Earth is not a ball, period. End of story. And does that happen very often? 1,000 times plus a day. 1,000 times plus a day, somebody calls up, somebody coming from offshore. There's a whole class of aircraft that are not pressurized. They can't fly above 11,000 feet. The pilot will pass out. So they operate at and below 10,000 feet, no matter what, and no matter what the weather is. They just can't operate up there. And there's hundreds of thousands, if not millions of these airplanes still operating all the time. And so they'd be coming in at 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 feet from like Bermuda or beyond and say 180 miles from Miami. And I said, Roger. And every time they do that, they prove the Earth is flat. And they don't know it, but it's absolute undeniable proof. 26,000, and at 200 miles, 29,000. I mean, there's a lot of commercial flights are never at 29,000 coming in from 200 miles out. So, over and over again.
Microwave I worked on with a company called Western Telecommunications. And with this job, what I was a field RF engineer. And I did the field engineering and all the testing for these long, great big, huge 10,000 channel microwave relay stations. I remember that we built a lot of sites across Kansas, the state of Kansas, which is very famous for being flat as a pancake, right? Well, not only Kansas, but Nebraska and Iowa as well. So while we were building these sites across Kansas and Nebraska and Iowa, the distance in between each one of these sites was approximately 40 to 60 miles, depending on the terrain. And there were occasions when we would have to do line equalizations, and we would have to diagnose a problem to find out why we were getting an unevenness in the spectrum of microwave signal, okay? So in order to do that, what we would do is we would bypass like one of the hops, and we would go from one, and instead of going from here to here, we would go down to this one, shoot from this one to this one, and sometimes we would even go, 2 sites away, right? And actually there were times when we actually did 3 sites. So if you have a 40 to 60, you can get very close to 200 miles on some of those hops. And when we did that, and we would establish our communications, never thinking at all about the curvature of the Earth, we were simply looking for line equalization. But the point is that we had established a connection with the site that was 2 to 3 hops down the line, which represents a distance of nearly 200 miles, anywhere from 100 to 200 miles. And the curvature calculations are immense for 200 miles and absolutely impossible, especially going across Kansas or Nebraska. When I look at that in retrospect as a flat earther and understanding the curvature and knowing also that we were dealing with 6 gigahertz microwave, there is no way at all that these signals could have possibly propagated, but they did. And that was something that, for me personally, was a huge piece of evidence.
The other thing is that for 24 years, I gave clearances to aircraft. We read the charts. You have to be familiar with every detail of any airway in your airspace. And that's 60 miles around. And you have to memorize all these radials and everything. And so we looked at these charts regularly. We had low altitude charts and high altitude charts, and we looked at where was what. We studied these things because we would have aircraft call us from those positions. And the thing about there's nothing on it that says not corrected for curvature. I never gave a clearance that said that had anything to do with curvature or adjustment for rotation. No pilot in the history of aviation has even given that a second thought. Nothing adjusts for it. Nothing is ever built to adjust for it. There's no curvature adjustment, there is no spin adjustment, and even in radar, you could put a guy on a vector at 180 degrees, fly heading 180. He could be on that vector for 100 miles. And all the time the Earth is spinning out from under him? It makes no sense. Absolutely no sense. So I never figured this stuff out until I began to research flat Earth.
When you plot a trip, it's done on a Jeppesen map, which is essentially a flat Earth azimuthal equidistant type of map. There are pilots that will insist that you do spherical calculations, but you don't. You do them based on a latitude and longitude system. That's how you derive your, where you're going to go, where you're coming from, where you're going to. And it's all done based on a flat map.
I'm thinking nobody talked flat Earth back in 1986. So I'm thinking, I look back at it, I was like, but there was all kinds of evidence that the Earth was flat. The maps, the very maps that we used, it said all surfaces are to be viewed as flat, right on the legend. And I'm thinking, we didn't even get it then, It says that on every single map. And I wondered why all those maps, it would do no civilian any good to have them. They're just a topographical view of the area landscape, the impact area. But it's DD. It's a DD form. DD is a Department of Defense form. A DA form has nothing. You can make copies of it and everything. It's not controlled. A DD form is controlled. They were smart enough to know that you can't copy this, you can't take this, and every map that comes out of the room, you got to sign for it. Maps are controlled. I'm thinking, why? What's so special about this map? Nobody will know what to do with it, but it tells you the truth. It's the truth. Everything is to be viewed as flat. No curvature, no rotation, or nothing. We used it day in and day out and do our job, not thinking. But it was right there in your face. That's the best way to hide. Out in the open.
I know that the Earth is not a ball. It does not rotate because science has not produced evidence to support that. The burden of proof rests on the person making the claim that the Earth is round and it rotates. The burden of proof doesn't rest on me. If science tells me that the Earth is round, and I for evidence for that, as science for evidence for that, I'm not going to accept that as fact.
There's a preponderance of evidence that we are assembling, especially over the last 4 years with the online research community, of finding other things, lots of other things, that there's no curvature. So let's establish that first. There is no measurable curvature. So if there's no curvature, then we're not dealing with a ball, because you have to have curvature for a ball.
Time and this is war. It's time and this is war.
And I am honored to call him brother and happy to call him friend. Bobski.
He was just truly amazing, but he was calling me to bigger things.
That was a beautiful little show. What do you think, Ryan? Are you still awake there, sir? There's no way you fell asleep that fast. Yeah, Rob was a good guy, I think. He just got involved with the wrong people somewhere down the line. I have no idea about his whole past. I can't judge. I think Ryan's out like a light. Good night, Ryan. Well, it's almost been 2 hours, guys, and I'm getting tired, and I'm going to go to sleep here shortly. I got to work tomorrow and all. I'm going to play you guys out with a little song, and we'll call it an evening or a morning. Good night, Ryan. Hey, Raj. See you tomorrow. All right. And don't forget to subscribe to Nathan Oakley and Flat Soy's Perspective if you ever get a chance, if you're not already subscribed. I like both those guys. They do a good job. Good night. Well, you said good night. There he is.
They know I tried. I scraped that car. I gave my stars in the distance. Oh, they tell the story of my life. They tell us to be left, repeating the past. Which is my turn.
Hey, Scott. Hold on a second.
Yo.
I'll pause it. All right, you still there?
Good song. Good song, dude. Good
It is.
song. It is, dude. As a
I like
drummer,
Mastodon.
dude, Mastodon is amazing.
Yeah, they are. And that kit he uses isn't a full kit set, dude. I don't know how he pulls that sound off.
Yeah, dude.
I've been watching him play. He's got to be damn quick, dude. Yeah, so my email's in the private chat if you want to grab it. Yeah, I got their whole set list or playlist, sorry, and all their albums produced. Some of them they're a little off. I had to pick and choose the songs I listen to. But if you want to grab the email, it's right there. You see it?
No, I mean, what do you mean? I'm on the phone.
You're on the phone. So there's a private chat.
So we're
bar at the
backstage, right?
bottom. Yeah, we're backstage.
All right. So okay. So how on Restream is weird. Oh, on okay. Yeah. Okay, right here.
Yeah, just click on that
Dude.
bar and doop, there's my
Yeah.
email.
Oh, Roger. Yeah. There we go. Gmail. Boom. I'm did it. Okay.
Speaking of Gmail, I got one from Duffy like the day before. He wants me to change my GoFundMe because I think he doesn't like the way it's worded. It's a strange thing. If you saw my GoFundMe, it would probably if he can't post it on his website, his final experiment thing. It's pretty much like in your face. It's like I'm doing this GoFundMe to prevent fraud and to help hurricane relief. That's the way I worded it. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's like that.
But so we're backstage, right?
And everybody can hear us. We're still on live, so I haven't ended the stream yet.
Okay.
Say hi to everybody. And
Hi.
There's only like 12 people.
Hi.
I'm getting people.
12.
Yeah, there's 12 of them. Yeah.
That's not bad.
No, that's good for a small channel. I'm not trying to make a big channel out of this, but I'm getting popular, and people are starting to tell me that. I got people that so to me here that I know, and they're liking the show. So nobody's like, "Hey, quit the show." And they're like, "I like the way you do the format. You play in with songs. Yeah, you have banter, and then you go over a topic, and then you play out with a song, and it's like that's the way I would do a show. That's the way I do a show."
Yeah. That's why I've come on your show like many times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, like a retard sometimes. I've sounded like a retard. Like I had band practice tonight. I had band practice. We learned 10 new songs, dude. 10.
Nice.
10 new songs. And we're learning that we did. So we're doing we're doing Land Down Under. Land Down Under. What does that even mean, right?
Yeah, I get it. But if you look at it in a flat Earth context, they're down under the tree.
Mm-hmm. They're down under. No, and it's funny how Mandela effect, but they're not even that down under as much as they were, right?
Yeah. Well, think about the monument that's in Australia. What is it? The biggest thing you can think of is in Australia.
The monument?
Yeah.
Oh,
the red rock, the giant rock. Yeah.
Yeah.
Giant,
it's a mesa, though,
yeah,
right?
Giant tree stump. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're underneath the tree stump.
Yeah. Tree
There's
stump.
several of those all all over the world, dude. Yeah, you
I
ever been to
know.
Boundary? Come on. Don't tell me there's not any validity to that claim at all. There's some of those trees mountains that look so much like trees, it's incredible.
Well, dude, think about how back in the day there's more oxygen, possibly, because they've been pulling. They've been sucking the oxygen. Think about, dude. I mean, I don't want to get crazy, but like they do the millimeter waves of all these 5G things are sucking. They're actually. I hate saying sucking, but it's like, extracting like the oxygen that makes us breathe, but it's fine for the trees. That's why
that's really funny.
That's why it's so crazy. They're like, oh, carbon dioxide, CO2 is bad. No, what are you talking about, dude? Retards.
Dude, even Sean Hawkins shared our show tonight. You know who Sean Hawkins is, right?
Hold on. Dude, yeah, I told you this before. Sean, I've talked to him before.
Yeah,
he's a scary character. He's washed. Like, remember I told you. He looks like, what was the guy's name? Remember, he had a swastika on his head. A swastika on his head.
Yeah.
Yes, Charlie. You call him Charlie Manson, Roger. That's why you're funny. That's why you're funny, because you called him Charlie. Charles Manson. Charles. Oh, Charles is also Flat Earth math guy. Charles. Oh. Charles. Yes, I know.
Anyways, yeah, well, I'm gonna get out of here, man. I'm into there. I'll put a stop to this show. Okay, I want to say good night. Is it all right with you? And PJ's gonna be on in 4 hours too, so I want to catch the end of his show. I'm gonna get some sleep. I'll see you later, Scott. I'll be doing another show tomorrow night, same time, same channel.
Peace.
Okay.
Later.
Peace,
same night, same channel.
Stay tuned.
You know